Ivar, first question, just an easy question I hope. What's the first record that you bought, being a little kid in Norway?
The first album I remember buying myself from my own money, or, of course, it's basically my parents' money. The weekly allowance, I think, was the Headless Command with W.A.S.P, because I got some some music before that, like Kiss and stuff, presents. But this is the first I remember going and wanting some music for myself.
And why this album?
It started with getting a Kiss cassette for Christmas from my granddad at 5 or 6, and I really reacted to this. Let's say now I realized it was the heavy metal side of it. Some of it was too. I didn't really get into it, but I really liked the way they looked and when it was really hard and everything. And then I listened to the radio because I grew up in a little village, and I heard some rock and roll and heavy metal shows. And when I saw that W.A.S.P cassette, I think it's Blackie Lawless standing on a pile of skulls or something with the flag, the last command. And it was just something about the visuals that told me that this was more the kind of music that I wanted to listen to. So I wanted something that was harder and a little harder around the edges. And that's why I wanted to buy it.
If you listen to the album now, what do you think of it?
It turned out quite quickly, which is a bit sad because I feel like I've betrayed them, because since that was my first cassette, it feels like I should have still liked them, but I stopped liking W.A.S.P very quickly when I got into the whole metal thing. It was just too much of the glam thing with them or something. I don't know. It's not really my cup of tea. When I started listening to Bathory or that kind of stuff a few years later, to be honest, I didn't really listen to W.A.S.P again.
Well, you already mentioned Haugesund.
Yes.
That's the place you grew up in. I looked it up. It's a town, 30,000 people or something.
Mm.
What was it like? Because now you live in Bergen.
Yeah.
What was it like over there? Was it a fun childhood, or was it really boring, or?
It was a good childhood and everything. I had good friends, and I still in touch with them from school. But from very early, I was like a heavy metal kid from very early, because of these discoveries, and something about me wanted to go in that direction, and very few others did. I still remember trying in school. It was a really small school, and I remember I played these cassettes from W.A.S.P and Anthrax and stuff like that when we had the long breaks, and I really wanted some other kids to get into it, but they all thought it was just noise, and they wanted to go to the discotheque and stuff like that on weekends. So I felt a little bit lonely about that. I wanted somebody to share my passion for this kind of music. But everything else was, I guess, a lot of fun. And the upside was that since I didn't want to do the normal stuff like the discos and the weekends, and I didn't like football too much like all the other guys did in school. I wanted to listen to music. My only option was to do a lot of homework, so yeah.
So
I did well in school because I didn't have anything else to do.
Okay, and what subjects were you good at?
Most of them actually, yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, I want to, if the music career goes down the drain someday, I think I'm going to be studying or something. I really enjoy that.
Okay. Well, before Enslaved, you had a band called Phobia.
Yeah.
Was it good?
Both yes and no. It was quite good for the circumstances, but
meaning
that there were two guys. This is how, going to the whole story of how the band came about. There were two guys, Grutle, which is the Enslaved singer, and a guy called Phobia, who became the drummer of Theatre of Tragedy later. Those two guys, they wanted to start a death metal band because they're really into Autopsy, Morbid Angel, Entombed, and that kind of stuff. But Grutle was playing the bass, Phobia was playing the drums. So obviously they didn't have any possibility to go anywhere with just the two guys. So they were looking for a guitarist. And then they heard me rehearsing with my old band called Obnoxious, which was a bit of an Anthrax rip-off band.
But this was still in Haugesund?
Yes. And we were rehearsing next door, me and my little friends, you know, and Grutle and Frode, they were a bit older. They were 16, 17, you know, and I was 10 or something, and my friends were 12 in the band. And they heard that they really liked the guitar playing. They thought like, oh, this guy can play the guitar. And they were shocked when they saw this little, you know, this little fat kid coming out of the rehearsal room and talking with the high-pitched voice like, hey.
What did they like? What did they hear in the guitar playing?
I think they heard like an edge or a little rougher, because I was really, somebody showed me Entombed, their Left Hand Path, and I really tried to emulate that with my guitar. I got the distortion pedal and I really I started tuning down my guitar, and they heard this, and when they saw it was this little kid, they were shocked, but they asked, do you want to play a little bit with us, you know? And you know, when you're 10, 11 and you have these guys and they were already drinking beer and stuff, you know, they had mustaches and deep voices, and I felt like, whoa, I hit the jackpot, you know, I can hang out with the big boys. So I said, sure, let's play together and try some stuff. And I picked up some Entombed, the Morbid Angel riffs and learned them at home, and came to the rehearsal, and they were quite impressed. And then they told me about their plan to start a death metal band. And yeah, I ditched my my other kid friends, and they didn't care too much, you know, they were just doing it for fun.
Yeah.
I was the only guy who actually had an idea to be in a band.